How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the top 14 playoffs, what the potentials are, who's hot, who's not, and I want to hear from you guys who you're supporting and who's your favorites to win the top 14. So, first up, let's break it down. We're looking at the table. Obviously, Toulouse, they are quite firmly in first with 85 points. Second is Bordeaux, sitting with 73. Not as comfortable because they do have third place Toulon really pushing up their backside with 68 points. Now, for Bordeaux and Toulon, they both have 2 games left. A potential of 10. I think it's a potential of 10 points for either of them, which could definitely jump them up a couple places. But where this really starts to get tricky is from below here, right? Bayonne is sitting in fourth with 64 points. Now, like I say, this is where it really starts to get tricky because although Bayonne is on 24 points, they do have La Rochelle sitting in fifth on 57 points. Now, looking at the teams, there is going to be a lot of competition here because of the points that are still up for grab, right? Now, although all of these teams have technically played 24 games, there is still 2 more games to play, and that opens up a little bit of space there, right? But now this is where it really gets interesting, is from here below, we are now seeing Castres in 6th place with 54 points, right? But they've only played 23 games. And then we look at Clermont at 7 on 53 points. Again, they have only played 23 games. So they still have another 3 games up for grabs. And that is a lot of points, which could definitely shift on how things are being played, right? And we look into, for instance, Clermont, they coming off of 2 wins on the trot. Castres, yes, they have lost. They have lost their last 2 games, but you got to give them something. The last 2 games were up against Toulouse and Bordeaux, so it is gonna. They are gonna be going in with a lot less confidence. It's still possible. They do still have 3 games to keep up and to kind of catch up to Bayonne and La Rochelle to kind of secure that playoff spot, because right now it's really going to be who can confirm that playoff spot, right? Because it's number 1 and number 2, they are going to get automatic promotion to the semifinals, and then it's 3, 4, 5, 6 that will end up fighting it off for their places. So everybody is going to be vying for this, right? So we look at Clermont, who's 1 point behind Castres, and they are in much better form. They still have 3 games left to play. So we could definitely see Clermont really get up there and start putting in performances, right? But then we go again further down into Montpellier, who they have played 24 games. But again, they are only 1 point behind Clermont, 2 behind Castres, right? So now you see where there was that big gap between 1 and 4. And now we start seeing everybody kind of within a 1 to 2 position point placement. Because then you have Pau on 52. We have Racing on 51. We then have Lyon on 50. And then 12th, we do have Stade Francais, who's currently on 41 points. So they kind of firmly out. But anything is possible from that 6th place all the way up to 11th place. It is only a 4-point margin. 4-point margin. A vast majority of the teams have played 24 games. But this just blows the playoffs wide open, because there are so many different possibilities that could be coming through in these next few games, that is just going to make life very difficult for everyone, because everybody's going to want to fight. They're going to fight for that playoff position, right? Now, albeit more than likely we are going to see either Toulouse, Bordeaux, or Toulon win the top 14. But that placement is there. It's open. It's for the taking, right? 4 points between between 6 4 points between 6th and 11th, 7 points between 5th and 11th. That's a matter of 2 games, 2 wins. That's 4 points per win. That's 8 points. Not taking into consideration a potential bonus point as well. So things can really, really change up. And everybody knows just how quick, how fluid a French rugby is, how attacking French rugby is. So we could potentially see a couple bonus points flying here and there, a couple upsets happening within, in the space of these next couple games. But at the moment, it's open to everybody. Everybody. Because we look at Racing, for instance. Racing, they are currently sitting 10th. Now, ordinarily, you would think, 10th, they have no chance. But now we take in consideration, they are currently sitting in 10th. They have 51 points. Yes, they have 2 games left to play. So that would be a grand total of 59 points, not taking consideration any bonus points that they might get. But they are also coming off of a big win over Toulouse, beating them 37-35. They came off of a draw as well. And then the last loss that they had was on the 4th of May to Lyon, where they ended up losing 29-15. But going into these last final games after beating Toulouse is just a big, big plus. They are going to be going in revved up and looking for those playoff spaces. So honestly, looking at the sides, we do have Montpellier, who are probably one of the sides that I feel are going to end up struggling more. Clermont is coming in good, good form. Same thing with Pau, two wins on the trot, and they ended up beating Lyon and Toulon in this in their last 2 games. We do have Racing, which has been playing pretty well. Lyon has been kind of horrible, but this opens up for a lot of spaces, right? We probably are going to end up seeing Van relegated, but anything is possible here. Because then once it goes into the playoffs, it is now a fight for your life, right? Who's going to be performing on the day? So whether you are finishing 6th, you still have a chance at beating. You still have a chance at beating anyone, right? You could show up on the day and end up beating Toulouse, knocking them out, and leaving things open for the taking. But then you got to worry about your Bordeaux, your Toulon, your Bayonne, La Rochelle, who are such physical monsters. I don't know. I really, really don't know. Obviously, a team like La Rochelle, they are going to be missing their head coach, Ronan Gara, because of his suspension. But yeah, this is going to open up the floodgates to people attacking free-flowing rugby. We're going to be seeing high, intense rugby. Nobody is going to want to sit back. Everybody's going to want to attack. They want to go for the throat because they want those points. And those points are so crucial considering how, the difference between points between finishing 10th and getting into the playoff spaces. It's a matter of 1 to 2 wins. 1 to 2 wins. And then we have Castres, we have Clermont, who are still yet to play 24 games. So they still technically have 3 points. So we're talking a potential of 12 points, flat, straight wins. And let's put it into context. So let's say Castres were to win their next game. That would put them 1 point above La Rochelle, and that would move them into 5th. And then Clermont, if they were to win their next game, that would put them level with La Rochelle, right? So already that's a big change right there. Things are already changing up there. And then it comes down to who's going to end up winning the next 2 games. All of these teams do not necessarily have the easiest of runs, because even though you're playing an elite team, or whether you're playing a team further down the table, the vast majority of them are going to be fighting for playoff spaces. So none of these games are going to end up being easy. Personally, the way I see it, I do feel that Castre will end up getting into. I do feel that they will end up getting into a playoff spot. Taking a look into the next games, so obviously we have Castre versus Clermont, which would equal them up to 24 points. That would be, yeah, that would set them off kind of nicely. If either team were to win, if Clermont were to win, they would put them level. And then with La Rochelle, if Castres was to win, that would put them in fifth above La Rochelle. And then Bayonne on the 31st of May, that's not going to be an easy game. But that might also be a bogey for Bayonne if they are unable to win. And then the final game of the season on the 7th of June, they are playing Stade Francais, who, again, can be a bit of a banana peel, but it is doable. So looking at this last game, seeing Castres Clermont, the way things are changing, we could definitely end up seeing a complete change in the table within the next 2 weeks. Well, I say within the next two rounds. But I do feel we are potentially going to be seeing Castres come into fifth, and then it's really, really going to be a big fight between Montpellier, Pau, and La Rochelle to keep into those playoff spaces. But I do feel that Castres is going to sneak their way into the playoffs and ultimately do pretty well. But let me know what you guys think. I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. Who's your team? Who do you support? Personally, even though I'm hoping for a Bordeaux loss in the Champions Cup, I just have a feeling we are going to see Bordeaux lifting the top 14. I do feel that it's going to get to those end stages. I feel Toulouse is going to slip up unnecessarily, and Bordeaux is just going to take it. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Who's your team? Who do you think is going to win? How do you think it's going to play out? Who is your underdog to get into the playoffs? Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.